Souls behind the throne, into the night, out of the dark, take to the sky, chasing the stars. All that we said, all that we are, waiting to fly. This is the start.
In this second video, section 15.3, let's continue using the laws of exponents to simplify expressions involving rational exponents. So I have rewritten our guidelines one more time. Take a look at the next two problems. Go ahead, start without me. See what you can do. In this first problem, I see that I have an entire quantity being raised to the fifth power. So the first thing I want to do is I want to distribute that fifth power, multiplying as I go along. Now, let's not forget about the 2. The 2 will also get that power. So let's see. So this power is going to be multiplied here, here, and then one more time for the 2. Let's go ahead and do that. So on the top, I will get 2 to the fifth power. Remember, that's because 2 already had a power of 1, and 1 times 5 is 5. The next one is the x. X being raised to the negative 1 times 5, that's negative 5. And then finally, my y, I have 2/5 times 5. Well, that just gives me a 2. On the bottom, I've done nothing. I will leave it as x squared times y squared. The next thing I want to do is I want to work on that 2 to the fifth power. So if I multiply 2 by itself 5 times, I get 32. Now, what about the x's? Well, I realized from the laws of exponents that that is x to the negative 5 minus a 2. And for the y's, well, the y's are going to cancel, but I'm going to write this in, just in case, y to the 2 minus 2. Okay, let's see what else we have. So we have 32. The x gets a negative 7 power, because negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. And unfortunately, the y's are gone. All I need to do next is just rewrite that negative power positive. So 32 stays on top. On the bottom, I get x to the 7th. And guess what? We're done. How are you doing? Let's move on to the next one. Now for this next one, I have the fourth root of x cubed divided by just the square root of x. Now, if I had the same root, then I could actually do something. But because I don't, I think the best chance here is to actually write it as a rational exponent. So let's do that. So remember, the inside goes as the numerator, and the root on the outside is the denominator. So for my actual numerator, the fourth root of x cubed, I actually can write down x to the 3/4 power. And on the bottom, I have x to the 1/2 power. Well, I'm going to treat it the same way that I've done the x in the previous problem. So I actually get x to the 3/4 minus my 1/2. So what do I want to do here? Subtract. So let's see, 1/2 is really 2/4. So let me go ahead and write that first. And that means I'm going to get x to the 1/4. The next thing I want is just to rewrite this back with a radical. So that gives me the fourth root of x. And this one is done. How did you do? Let's move on. Let's try this next one. Get ahead of me. So once again, I would like to distribute. So the 1/2 is going to get distributed once, twice, 3 times. Do not forget about the 25. Here I go. So I have 25 raised to the 1/2 power. My p is going to be 2 raised to the 2/5 times the 1/2. I believe that's 2/10. Check my work. And then q has a negative 1 power. Multiply by the 1/2, so it's negative 1/2. Okay, we have done the distribution. Let's see what we can do. First thing I think I would like to try is 25 to the 1/2. I think I can handle that. So that is the square root of 25, which is going to break down, but that's okay. And I'm going to simplify that 2/10 power of p. So that's going to give me p to the 1/5. And the q, well, I'm going to write it as is. I know that that's going to go down in just a bit. A few more steps here. So the square root of 25 is 5. I still have p to the 1/5 power. And on the bottom, now I can bring down q to the positive 1/2 power. So let's see. I have 5. P to the 1/5 power is really the 5th root of p. And in the bottom, I just have the square root of q. And this one is also done. How are you doing? I have one more for you down here. Get ahead of me. Well, I'm sure that you're rewriting this with rational exponents, so let me not delay. On the numerator, I'm going to write this as y to the 2/3 power. And in the denominator, I have y to the 1/4 power. Again, I will subtract the powers. Y to the 2/3 minus 1/4. Let me see. I need a common denominator. I think the 12 should do it. So let me rewrite these with equivalent fractions. So for the 2/3, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 4. That's going to give me 8/12. And for my 1/4, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3. It's going to give me 3/12. This will make it much easier to subtract. Now if I subtract, I'm left with y to the 5/12, which can be rewritten as the 12th root of y to the 5th power. And I'm done. Incidentally, sometimes you can't just leave it as a fractional power. It's okay.